Right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is Matthew from Ethbits. Ethbits is the headline sponsor for the event, so thank you very much for that. Now, what if there was a way where you could copy the trades of a professional trader? That would be cool, right? And that's one of the things that Matthew's going to talk about, according to the title of your talk anyway. So the title is Market Manipulation and Copy Trading. So let's hear a round of applause for Matthew from Ethbits.
Okay, thanks. I'd like to just quickly ask a few questions just to get to know my audience a little bit. How long has, who's been in Bitcoin for less than a year? Just show your hand. Right. Less than 3 years then. Show your hands. Okay, over 4 years. Wow, okay. Great, okay, thanks. So, let me tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Matthew. I'm a co-founder of Ethbits Exchange. I've been in cryptocurrency for, since 2012. I'm not a computer programmer. I can write code. I'm more into like mechanical engineering, mathematics, and physics. But when I was introduced to Bitcoin, I saw like potential for the growth, and I put 10% of my money into it every month for my wage check. And I think that was a good option. So the first topic I want to get into, like market manipulation. This might be going over the basics for you guys. Some people probably already know it. But if you go online, like maybe Facebook or on Telegram, you'll get people saying, "Oh yeah, come join this group. We know the coins to buy, etc." Basically, they want you to buy the coins that they've already bought into, and when you buy into them, you raise the price, and they can get a good exit and make profit on you. And this is very common these days. I mean, extremely common, and it's getting ridiculous. There's people who There's two groups run by the same person, the same people, and one of them is like promoting the price increase, and one of them is promoting the price decrease. And whichever's right, they have people who trust them, so then they can manipulate whatever they spend the next time. So it's really complex, and what I'd recommend is not to trust any of these groups or trading groups. I mean, there are some like legitimate ones like Gambit. But like right now, it's extremely hard to get into, even to just contact the guys, because obviously it's grown so much. Another way market manipulation happens is by bots. I don't know if you've used a low volume exchange before. If you put a buy order in, immediately you see the buy and sell orders change dramatically, and like as soon as you take it away, it changes directly back to what it was before, and if you put it back, it goes back to what it was. So basically, those are bots working to try to get the price down. And actually, like a couple of years ago, you could use them to your advantage when you're trading. You just put a massive sell order in, and you could actually get a cheaper coin because you just wait for newcomers to come in. And but these days they're getting more complex, and like they're adding like artificial intelligence. I mean, it's like and obviously when it comes to like market manipulation, everyone's talking about whales. I'm sure you all know. If you have a significant portion of the crypto you're invested in, you can set big sell orders. You can panic investors, and you can afford to sell a lot very cheap, and then you know that people will panic and sell, and then you can just buy them cheaper. So if you own a significant proportion of the coins, then you can certainly manipulate the market. And there's a battle going on now after the future markets has opened with Wall Street and the crypto whales. I'm not sure who's going to win, but it's looking promising so far. Maybe later on in the year we'll see some uptrends. So, YouTube is another great way to get really bad information. Sometimes it's good. you just have to be really careful. Like, basically, you must do your research, and then anything that anyone says, if they say this coin is going to do 10 times or 20 times, you've got to like really break it down into like where it's going to start in the market cap and how much the potential of growth is, and if it's a legitimate project, because some of them are not, like BitConnect. Had to mention it. Come on. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So these guys on YouTube, they often get paid up to about I don't know, $50,000 sometimes to just promote one coin, and they get like quite a big following. They get up to 30 to 100,000 views per time. The smallish ones, which they still get a lot of money to promote their coins. So yeah, you have to really just don't listen to them. If they say a coin, you have to really go behind the scenes and do your own research, which is pretty obvious to most people, but to newcomers in, it's quite difficult because you don't know where to look for the information. So the current ICOs, as I mentioned, check it out here. So for the new ICOs coming out, some of them are obviously great projects, and they'll have a really good long-term potential for growth. But when you invest in a project like an ICO, from what I've found personally in my experience in Bitcoin, is you look for the project with a dedicated team, not necessarily small or big projects. It doesn't matter about the size of the team. It depends on how much how passionate they are about the project, because some people obviously make a lot of money and then they don't care about the coin or the project anymore, and they leave. So, but if you see people who are really very genuinely like excited about what they're going to create, then this is not usually an issue. And again, like I said, it's like if you buy into an ICO and the hard cap and the low cap, the hard cap is very important, because the hard cap is where it's going to be launching on CoinMarketCap, and you have to evaluate the potential for growth. So if it launches at 100 million or 50 million, if it launches at 100 million, it's got less potential for growth. If it launches at 50 million, it's got like a really good chance for times 10 potential. So you look at where an ICO is, you look at the project and you think, okay, where's this going to end up on CoinMarketCap? So you evaluate the hard cap maximum, and you think, where is it going to end up on CoinMarketCap, and then you can evaluate how much money you could possibly make from it. And that's good investment advice, I think. But I'm not investing. I'm not telling you what to do. Okay. So what we have created is a platform called iTrade, which is a copy trading platform. It's a bit like Binance or Bittrex, except we will have a layer of copy trading on top of that. We will not be using third-party APIs, so everything that we use for copy trading will be based on our own volume. So we will be doing like a very big event. The platform will launch in August, and then we'll be doing a very big event in September, which is very, very huge event. I can't tell you what it is, because like I don't want anyone to copy the idea, but in crypto it's the first, and it'll be like pretty groundbreaking. So we're confident to get the people in and the volume required to do the copy trading. And how will the copy trading mitigate the risks, so to speak, of market manipulation? Well, if you consider like an exchange like eToro, which mainly uses third-party exchanges, volumes, and APIs, the mitigation for market manipulation is quite hard, because they have like an unlimited volume, and buyers and followers can just go in any direction they wish. And the risk of market manipulation is much greater. Because we're using our own volume, basically, we make very specific limitations on how a trader can be copied, and limitations on how a copier can follow a trader. So you have to make informed decisions about how you copy, how much. We will have stop loss functionality, so you can limit your losses. So if you say, follow this guy for 1,000, you don't want to lose more than 800, we'll make sure we have the volume to give you the stop loss at 800. And basically, with the copy trading on our own volume, it's much safer because we're not using APIs. The trade, when you make the trade, it's executed much quicker because it's not going from one site to another server. It's done much quicker, so it's obviously more beneficial to our users. And but there are we currently have three competitors doing social trading. Social trading is similar to what we're doing, but they're using APIs from other exchanges. So they're not actually making an exchange. They're just you deposit money with them, and then they use their API to connect to other exchanges. So it's I'm not saying it's bad, but it's just not a perfect solution to copy trading, I don't think. So if you're a very good trader and you wish to come on our platform and you have 1,000 followers and you're making your followers kind of money, if you're making like a 20% per day per trade and your followers are restricted, they're not going to specifically make 20% each per day because that's not feasible. They'll probably make something around 5 or 6%. Depending on how we restrict the number of users. But in our white paper, we've explained all this, so you can check it out. Basically, you can have the people that are being copied, they will take a percentage of your profits. So if you're following someone and you make the 5-6%, then part of that goes to the people that you copy. So if you're an experienced trader, you can like multiply your profits, and if you don't know anything about trading, you can go on, choose the best people, and copy who you like. So for our actual copy trading, what is it? This is the big question. We have 3 types of copy trading. I can't really go into too much details now because obviously it's all under non-disclosure agreements and we don't want anyone to copy us. But we have 3 types of copy trading, from copying trades with a small percentage of your portfolio or by the trader executing by a fund which is from his followers. And we have another one which is, I can't even tell you what it is without giving the game away, so I'm not saying it. And as an experienced trader, you can decide in what types of way people can copy trade you. So if you're good at like certain types of technical analysis and you find out that this copy trading, if you'd rather have like 100 Bitcoins to trade with as opposed to like trading with your own Bitcoin, like a smaller amount, then it benefits you. So you can really, if you're a trader, you can make a very good informed decision about how people actually copy you. It's not just like eToro where you log on, click copy, click. It's really well thought out, and everyone can make informed decisions about how they do it. And obviously we are using our own volume, like I said. So there will be big differences in prices from our coins compared to other exchanges. So for this, we've created like an arbitrage. So if you hold like a certain amount of our tokens, we'll give you like specific alerts for arbitrage opportunities. We're not going to be using the APIs. We're going to be actually partnering with exchanges. We have a few lined up. And so you'll be able to see like the volume, the potential money you can make just by having money in one exchange, having money in the other, and then sell and buy at the same time. You can, well, that's what arbitrage is. So the alerts we'll be giving to these users will be like SMS, emails, and yeah, it's looking very promising. We are October, August is not too far down the road. So to summarize, I don't know how long I've been talking. Not very long, right? Okay. To summarize, if you're new to crypto or if you're a professional, you can utilize the platform to multiply your money. Like if you're a professional trader, we give you 20% of your followers' profit. So that's, if you do the maths, it's pretty good. In return, the traders get like the legitimacy of, the security of following a professional trader. And as I did mention, August we will launch, and September we are going to have like a really huge event. I mean, it's one of the biggest in crypto. All the guys that know about it, they're like, wow. But this is like I'm hyping you up now, but I'm not trying to. It's really good. And our token called Ethbits token, we give 13% of the exchange profits to our token holders. So we've had a little bit of a problem with like being classed as a security. So if any of you guys are starting to think about like making a token, I'd consider not giving a percentage of your profit away, because it puts you in a few problems. And to overcome those problems, we're creating a pure utility token. And in the future, we want to actually, people who want to go the anti-money laundering legislation, they can actually take equity in our company and give us the tokens back. So this is how we've had to deal with it, and it's fair enough. I understand the SEC in America. Obviously, America is like one of the biggest markets in crypto, so we have to like really comply with their rules. And yeah. And hopefully, I'm pretty sure this time next year I will be back to tell you how successful it is. Sorry, that was really short. Does anybody have any questions? Anything?
Any questions for Matthew in the house? We've got one up there. Anybody else may think you have a question? Stick your hand in the air over there.
Hi. I'm kind of interested in the as an entrepreneur, what your funding story is. You know, how you've managed to get from an idea to where you are now, and a kind of sense of the challenges that you faced on that journey, and really to get I suppose a clearer understanding of how somebody with an idea like you had might be able to get to the same place on their own.
Okay. Well, basically, Ethbits is two platforms. We have like a peer-to-peer exchange, and we have iTrade launching in August. The peer-to-peer exchange, it's like a little bit like local Bitcoins. You can buy face-to-face, and that was all funded by myself personally, and my friends, my co-partners. And then last year about this time, we did an ICO, and we raised 1.3 million. We had to cash out quite a lot of that to secure the funds for the exchange, but the parts that we didn't cash out have gone up considerably, so it's given us a really good opportunity for marketing. So we did go down the ICO route, and it was successful, and we've got like a very good following. 800 people invested in the ICO, and now we have like 20,000 users on the site, and it's growing every day. And this is without much marketing. We're saving all the marketing for like the launch of iTrade, because the platform we have now is okay, but it's not a game changer. iTrade is a game changer. So yeah, we went down the ICO route.
Cool. Was it you, mate? Wanted to ask a question?
Yeah. So your token, ETH bits, do you say that it's classed as a security token? I mean, you're giving away equity. Is that right?
No, I'm not saying it is, but the SEC will certainly class it as a security token.
Absolutely.
I mean, absolutely. So, I mean, during the ICO, we blocked the IP addresses for our USA brothers and sisters, but we are trying to change that. So we create a utility token and the people who hold our original token, if they give us the correct KYC, we'll give them equity in the company.
Right, and the token itself, is it used for fees?
Yeah. We're doing something similar to Binance. So if you hold specific amounts of tokens, you get like cheaper fees, and you can get like arbitrage alerts, like I kind of explained. So,
Thank you.
yeah.
Excellent questions. Next one, over to William here.
So you're going to be launching in August, and your potential customer base is worldwide, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so how are you going to be compliant with the coming GDPR regulations that are coming in May of this year, and which will affect any of your customers based in the EU?
Okay. Well, we're currently registered in the UK, and we're looking for opportunities to go. We're trying to avoid Gibraltar because, like, it just doesn't sound very good if you're registered in Gibraltar because you're avoiding the legislation. But we're looking to go to Switzerland and get a trading license there. We're going down the bit stamp.
Just as a point of information, GDPR doesn't refer to where the company is based, it's where your customers are based.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
if you have customers in the EU, you are subject to GDPR and the potential for quite stinging penalties if you infringe on the regulations with the usage of people's personal data. So that might be something you or one of your colleagues might like to take a look at between now and May 25th when the regulations come into force.
But that's got to do with personal data. It's nothing to do with like trading, right?
Well, there are things, even just people's identities that you're keeping track of, and the fact that you need to offer services like right to erasure.
Okay.
So it's something you probably want to take a look at before it comes into effect,
yeah,
so you don't get burned.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously users' data is very important to us. I mean, we encrypt it, and if somebody wishes to be erased from the site, we will do it. Like, that's no issue. So no problem.
Excellent, thank you.
Superb. Anyone else have a question here? While you're thinking of another question, that was a post-hypnotic suggestion. Matthew, you mentioned there, you called it the battle between Wall Street and the crypto whales, which I've never heard it put like that before. Is that what's happening? So you've got people who believe in crypto with a fair chunk of change who are trying to bolster the market, and you've got Wall Street futures shorters trying to push it in the opposite direction.
Yeah, of course. I sincerely think it is. I mean, I think this market's going to continue going downwards until, if it goes down to I've been speaking figures, and you shouldn't really do that. But if it goes down to £3,000, I will sell my house to buy as much Bitcoin as I could. But I expect it to go down, and then when you start hearing loads of people on social media like crying and saying all the bad things about Bitcoin, that's when you need to buy, because. Yeah, and the banking cartel with the market manipulation is really like happening. I mean, but it can only happen for such a certain amount of time, because they can only short it for a certain amount of time. And if the Bitcoin whales are on top of it, they can prevent it from like being a massive disaster.
How? How do we prevent it from being a massive disaster?
Well,
And when you say you can
only
short
they
it, so
know. I
what?
don't have that many Bitcoins, but because you can only short something for such a certain amount of time, and then when you close that position, then the price generally goes up. So
Like a 30-day future contract, for example.
Exactly.
You could short it unless you renew it, right?
Exactly.
There is, with people like Where's the Bottom, right? I was watching an interview with Trace Mayer the other day. The real bottom, he says, is, he called them the hardcore hodlers, meaning the people that just will not sell. So the absolute rock bottom isn't zero. It's whatever price we get to, where the people who left holding the Bitcoin will just not sell it, because that's a hard bottom to the price, right? And of course, if there's only one person willing to sell it, they set the price, right? I don't know where that is. I'm one of those people. I would ride Bitcoin all the way down to $1.
Yeah,
I just
but
wouldn't give it up, because if you sell your Bitcoin, you are complicit in the market manipulation. If everyone was like, screw you, hold, you couldn't push the price down. That relies upon people accepting a lower and lower and lower and lower price. And that's where the panic comes in. It drops 10%, someone goes, sells it, that makes the next person panic, and down it goes, right? But if you're just like, nah, I'll take it to $1, thank you very much, right? But that relies on you not investing any more than you can afford to lose and that sort of stuff, which people have been remortgaging their houses. So when you're in a negative equity, yeah, you will panic and sell your Bitcoin, which you shouldn't have done in the first place, but people are going to do that anyway. So it's all a big mess of chaos, right? Does that stimulate any thoughts? Bubbling up here. My man right here has got plenty of questions. Just saving the day, mate. Ooh, litter.
I'm not much of a trader, so because for me it doesn't work for me, my personality. So what's your thought on the lines of the holders of last resort? I mean, 3K sounds great to me. I mean, I'd be start buying, not just holding at that point. But what do you think, for the context of you, how it relates to people that are regular buyers who generally put in a percentage of their income in, and what that effect it has on the whales and the...
Well, to be honest, like for any kind of investment like Bitcoin, I mean, I've been in it for a long time now, and it really crashes like crazy. And if you just hold it, it's 99% of the time comes back up, and it's all right. Yeah, even with really bad coins, like really crappy like altcoins, usually they always come back up. So you always get an exit point. My advice to anybody. You know, obviously don't invest anything like remortgaging your house, but you know, 10% of your salary, if you can afford it, do it. You know, that's what I did, and I'm quite happy. But there's no way that I sold all my Bitcoin. I mean, like I'm a firm anarchist believer and stuff. So there's no way.
And you've got to think about the time horizon, because even if it did hit 3K by the middle of this year, you'd still be up 300% from last January. And that outperforms any other investment you could have possibly made in the meantime.
You said that the traders on your platform, they'll get 20% of the fees from the users of it. What happens if they lose money on the trade? Is that also going to apply if they lost 20%? Would their users also use 20%?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't apply. It's not reversed now. No.
That's funny. It's
Yeah.
like copy it on the way up, copy it on the way down.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That's why we've like if you're following someone, we've introduced a stop loss, so you can only lose a certain amount. That's why we introduced the risk rating. So the risk rating is based on how much the followers make. So if someone's making 100% a day and his risk rating is very high, that means that you shouldn't follow him because he's just like a pump and dump, and his followers are making no money. But if he's got a very low risk rating and he's making a decent percentage per day, those are the guys that you should follow. So, and if they lose you money, we've introduced the stop loss. So, yeah. So it's not reversed.
What's your position in Ethbits? Are you the CEO?
Well, I'm the co-founder at the moment.
Co-founder, right.
Monty Singh, a guy I went to school with, is the CEO at the moment. And we are looking to expand as much as possible in the forthcoming years. So.
You're based in the UK, obviously, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I personally live in France, but the company is in the UK.
Yeah, excellent.
The weather in France is better.
The weather in France is better. Depends on whereabouts in France, I suppose.
So.
Right. Who else would like to ask a question? Oh, my man right here. Now we're back to you. Here we go again. You should sit in the white seats if you want to ask a question.
So is your plan to kind of open up a beta to traders to start, showing the results and things like that?
Okay, well, we can't really... so first of all, we need to open an exchange like Bittrex or Binance, and after that, we need to get enough volume to open the copy trading, because if there's no volume, you can't do copy trading, because like each position will be closed like straight away. So once we've got enough volume, that's when we do the copy trading, and we have a very huge idea to do it, and it's going to be big. I can't tell you. I'm very excited. I'm like, shut up. Sorry.
Was it you that asked a question? It wasn't you. Who was it? Oh, sorry. You're counting my rows here.
Hi, Matt. No, I just wanted to know if you could join iTrade now, and if there's a minimum amount you needed to start with on the copy trading.
Okay, so no, there's no minimum amount you need to start with. Basically, the amount you trade with is to do with we comply with like anti-money laundering legislation in the EU. So We don't in the UK. Crypto isn't like in the AML right now, but before 2019 ends, it probably will be. So we stick to the legislation anyway, like as you should do. But there's no minimum amount. But if you want to trade for higher amounts, you need to upload your passport, proof of address, selfie with a photo, etc.
And can you register now? Or?
Yeah, you can. For iTrade, you can register now on ethbits.com, and then when iTrade launches, you'll get an email notification telling you that we've started. So, yeah.
Thanks.
Who else would like to ask a question? No, that's an eye wipe. So you know what I just said about being a hodler of last resort? Is that really the only way the average small holder can fight back against the market manipulation through the futures markets?
Generally speaking, I think
Yeah.
it is, right? I mean,
Yeah, I can't think of what else we could do, really.
the thing is, I mean, cryptocurrency is more than just making money, and people should know that. And the people who are in it for just money, they just listen to the news, and when there's bad news, they sell. When there's good news, they buy. And it's not really the way to do it. And if you really believe passionately in cryptocurrency, then you just buy it and you hold it anyway, and you're always going to win. So
Sure.
they can't ever stop us, and they can't ever defeat us.
Right, in the long run, right? Exactly. It might be volatile, but that volatility is a sign that all those people are in there that just care about the price,
Exactly.
right? Unfortunately, but it's a free market, so you
Yeah,
have
yeah.
to take rough with the smooth.
Even the whales that manipulate the market to make loads of money, they still care about Bitcoin. They might be rich off us guys, but they still, they still care about it.
Right,
So-
sure. Any more questions, or should we let Matthew go? Oh, no, we won't let him go. We'll not let you go.
With the fees, is that only payable with ETH bits, or do you take trading fees from the trading pair itself? So if you don't hold any of your tokens, will I get charged the trading fee in Bitcoin or Ether, or how does it work?
Basically, if you hold a certain amount of Ethbits in your wallet, you will get reduced amount of trading fee, but it's by the pairs, like you just mentioned. So if you're trading Bitcoin, Litecoin, we'll take it in Bitcoin.
But so if I don't have any ETH bits, utility tokens,
Yeah.
how would you take the fees from the trading pair itself?
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So the following question from that is, what do you do with the amount of coins and tokens that you're collecting as fees? Do you save them up and then sell them in one batch at the end of the month, at the end of the year? The reason why I ask is I wonder how much that affects the price for people like Coinbase, Bittrex, Binance. They're collecting a percentage of the tokens and fees, and eventually they're going to sell them. And I'm wondering how much that affects the price, and how do you approach that?
Well, let's say we take in fees, we take 100 Bitcoin a day, for example. There's no way we'd go and sell 100 Bitcoin. We're an exchange. We want to keep as much crypto as possible and grow the amount of crypto. With regards to altcoins and such like, we will manage it as and when, but we will sell the minimum amount as possible to not obviously negatively affect the markets. But for part of the fees we do take, we intend to 20% of the fees will go to us to then again buy back our tokens and burn the tokens as well. So reduce the supply, and hopefully the speculation will be good for our investors. So.
You know, with regards to the Ethbits, do you stake them in order to get cheaper trading fees, or do you spend them like on Binance?
No,
'Cause
no,
with Binance, you have to spend,
hold them in a wallet.
you just hold them,
Yeah,
so you don't lose them.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but you take them out of supply through profit and burn.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I mean, we've got like if you keep them in there for a long, it's like having like something similar to a masternode, but not quite as
Right.
not quite as tight. You can leave them in there for like a month and get lower trading fees, and the longer you leave them in there, the lower it goes.
Interesting. That'll be attractive to the professional traders, I'm sure, who are doing a lot of transactions.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sweet. All right. Going once. Going twice. Sold. Right.
Thanks
One round of
a lot.
applause for Matthew. Thank you very much.